I'm going to read an excerpt from a book called Redburn by Herman Melville. Young Wellingborough Redburn is the main character in this semi-biographical coming-of-age tale about a boy who travels to Liverpool aboard a merchant ship complete with a crew of rascals. As we sailed ahead, the river contracted. The day came, and soon, passing two lofty landmarks on the Lancashire shore, we rapidly drew near the town, and at last came to anchor in the stream. Looking shoreward, I beheld lofty ranges of dingy warehouses, which seemed very deficient in the elements of the marvellous, and bore a most unexpected resemblance to the warehouses along South Street in New York. There was nothing strange, nothing extraordinary about them. There they stood, a row of calm and collected warehouses, very good and substantial edifices doubtless, and admirably adapted to the ends had in view by the builders, but plain, matter-of-fact warehouses, nevertheless, and that was all that could be said of them. To be sure, I didn't expect that every house in Liverpool must be a leaning tower of Pisa, or a Strasbourg cathedral, but yet these edifices, I must confess, were a sad and bitter disappointment to me. Of all seaports in the world, Liverpool, perhaps, most abounds in the variety of land sharks, land rats, and other vermin, which make the hapless mariner their prey. In the shape of landlords, barkeepers, clothiers, crimps, and boarding-house loungers, the land sharks devour him limb by limb, while the land rats and mice constantly nibble at his purse. Other perils he runs also, far worse, from the denizens of notorious Corinthian haunts in the vicinity of the docks, which in depravity are not to be matched by anything this side of the pit that is bottomless. And yet, sailors love this Liverpool, and upon long voyages to distant parts of the globe will be continually dilating upon its charms and attractions, and extolling it above all other seaports in the world. For in Liverpool they find their paradise, not the well-known street of that name, and one of them told me he would be content to lie in Prince's Dock till he hove up anchor for the world to come. The next day was Sunday, and I had it all to myself, and now, thought I, my guidebook and I shall have a famous ramble up street and down lane. My intention was, in the first place, to visit Riddough's Hotel, where my father had stopped more than 30 years before, and then, with the map in my hand, follow him through all the town, according to the dotted lines in the diagram, for thus would I be performing a filial pilgrimage to spots which would be hallowed in my eyes. At last, when I found myself going down Old Hall Street towards Lord Street, where the hotel was situated, according to my authority, and when, taking out my map, I found that Old Hall Street was marked there, through its whole extent with my father's pen, 1,000 fond, affectionate emotions rushed around my heart. Yes, in this very street, thought I, nay, on this very flagging, my father walked. Then I almost wept, when I looked down on my sorry apparel, and marked how the people regarded me, the men staring at so grotesque a young stranger, and the old ladies in beaver hats and ruffles crossing the walk a little to shun me. I pushed on my way till I got to Chapel Street, which I crossed, and then, going under a cloister-like arch of stone, whose gloom and narrowness delighted me, and filled my Yankee soul with romantic thoughts of old abbeys and minsters, I emerged into the fine quadrangle of the Merchants' Exchange. There, leaning against the colonnade, I took out my map and traced my father right across Chapel Street, and actually through the very arch at my back into the paved square where I stood. So vivid now was the impression of his having been here, and so narrow the passage from which he had emerged, that I felt like running on and overtaking him around the town hall adjoining, at the head of Castle Street. But I soon checked myself, when remembering that he'd gone whither no sun's search could find him in this world. And then I thought of all that must have happened to him since he paced through that arch, what trials and troubles he had encountered, how he'd been shaken by many storms of adversity, and at last died a bankrupt. But I rallied, and gazed around at the sculptured stonework, and turned to my guidebook, and looked at the print of the spot. It was correct to a pillar, but wanted the central ornament of the quadrangle. The ornament in question is a group of statuary in bronze, elevated upon a marble pedestal and basement, representing Lord Nelson expiring in the arms of victory. One foot rests on a rolling foe, and the other on a cannon. Victory is dropping a wreath on the dying admiral's brow, while death, under the similitude of a hideous skeleton, is insinuating his bony hand under the hero's robe and groping after his heart. A very striking design, and true to the imagination. I never could look at death without a shudder.